So, my 6-year-old has quickly outgrown his Trek Jet 16 bike and he wants to join his dad on the trails. This means he's going to need a 20-inch boys mountain bike. As it turns out, finding a decent 20-inch boys mountain bike for a price that doesn't break the wallet is not an easy task. First of all, the 20-inch mountain bikes in the big box stores are nearly all made of steel instead of aluminum. The last thing you want to do to a kid who's just starting off is to give him a bike that's too heavy. He'll just end up giving up on the first uphill climb, or at least I know mine would. So, to get an aluminum frame in the 20-inch size, the bike's going to have to be name brand. I did look into a few, like Scott. Well, Scott has 4 mountain bike models in the 20-inch range. There are 2 for kids with a short frame, so I skipped those since that will just shorten the ownership time. However, there are another 2 that are very impressive. The Scott Spark Junior 20 is an impressive bike with a full suspension, 12 speed, and 40mm travel fork. It retails around $475 to start, plus shipping. The Scott Scale Junior 20 is an impressive 12-speed hardtail with also a 40mm suspension fork. It's priced to retail about $450 plus shipping. The price was a little bit high for a bike my kid will likely outgrow in just 2 or 3 years, so I decided to keep shopping. I found the Trek MT60. It's a 6-speed 20-inch bike with a 30mm suspension fork, but the MSRP price on that one is listed at $330. So I moved over to the Jamis, and I found that the X.20 is also a 6-speed with 40mm of travel on the fork, and the MSRP is $295. Now we're under the $300 mark. I kept on looking, and I found the Diamondback Octane 20 is also a 6-speed with an aluminum frame and only has 30mm of travel on the front suspension, but it does retail at $260. The Diamondback has another 20-inch, but it's got a steel frame, so I didn't even bother looking at that one. After all this searching around, it was pretty much a point of deciding how much I'm willing to pay for a bike that my kid's probably only going to use for 2 or 3 years. But then I stumbled onto something unusual. It turns out that in the Ferrari store, yes, that Ferrari, they sell quality bikes. At first I thought it was just a gimmick, some Chinese bike maker that has a license to put a Ferrari name on their subpar bicycles. But I was wrong. Ferrari actually has a little more pride in their name than that. As it turns out, they've got a 20-inch kids mountain bike that they call the CX30. It's an aluminum frame 12-speed. But what really caught my eye is that it's got a 50mm travel front suspension fork and disc brakes on both the front and rear. None of the other 20-inch kids bikes that I've seen so far with aluminum frames came with disc brakes, let alone the 160mm 6-bolt disc brakes that are standard on most mountain bikes nowadays. From the photos, the joints appear to have quality polished welds, not the robotic welds that you see on most of the mass-produced bikes from nowadays. However, what turned me off was that it was over $500 to $900 in the price tag, plus shipping. The average price for this kid's bike was way more than I was willing to pay. But, as luck would have it, a handful got into the Overstock.com inventory, and in classic Overstock.com fashion, went on sale for $199.99 with 5-day free shipping. The bike has just arrived today, and I will be carefully inspecting it, and I'll give my full review and follow-up in another video. Thanks, and have fun out there.